This is the web development module session, and this is the final session for the day that begins at 6:30 p.m. East African time. So if you've noted from the LMS, there's only one link that runs throughout the day. So we'll be utilizing one link for each and every session, but we still remain with 3 sessions spread out across the day, 10 a.m. in the morning, 2 p.m. in the afternoon, and 6:30 p.m. in the evening, East African time. So please convert that to your local time zone, and you'll know when to join the sessions. So yeah, so we will be going through the web development module for the next 8 weeks or so, and I will be taking you through that. My name is Eddie. I'm the lead instructor for the web development module, and it is a pleasure to have you here with me. Okay. So today we'll be looking at an introduction to web development, what it is, the purpose of web development, and then we'll look at how can you as an aspiring developer create different web pages. That is what we will be tackling this day. So without further much ado, let us just dive into it. So what is web development? Web development simply refers to the process of building, creating, and maintaining websites and web application. So every action and activity, any action and activity that revolves around any operation required to build, maintain, and manage a website, that is what we are referring to as web development. So web development is typically divided into 3 major categories. We have the front end, back end, and full stack development. So these different arms of development describe the 3 major categories in which web development is divided into. So for front-end development, that majorly focuses on the presentation part of websites or web applications. So the visual part, what is presented to the users, the visual and interactive aspects of a website or web application. So what you see actually, the design, the images, the layouts, how you interact with it, that is what we refer to as front-end development. And in a broader sense, user interface and user experience. When it comes to back-end development, so this is where you get to manage databases and information. You get to manage application logic and business logic. All that resides on the back end of your applications. All that resides on the back end of your application. And finally, we have full stack development. And this one brings together both front and back end development, such that you as a developer, you are able to create a fully fledged application that integrates both the front and the back seamlessly in order to achieve some objective or goal. Yeah, so that is what web development is in a nutshell. But why do we have to do all this? What is the actual purpose of web development? So we have some major purposes, and one of them being just creating an online presence. Creating an online presence for your audience or for your users. Remember, we live in a digital age, so you cannot underscore the importance of an online presence. I don't know if most of you have even visited a bank. Yeah, most of you I don't know if you've ever visited a bank or not, because nowadays you can transact online without even ever having to visit a bank for whatever reason, because you can simply go through a registration process on a bank's website or a bank's mobile application, and there will be no need for you to visit a physical bank to get their services. So just creating that online presence, whether for an individual or a business or an organization or a government. Yeah, you cannot underscore the importance of an online presence. Next is simply providing information, disseminating of information across the globe and across the world. You simply give that service. So with the development, websites provide and serve as a platform to share information with a large audience or with numerous users. Also for e-commerce and business growth. E-commerce and business growth. So as you are aware, there are several e-commerce sites across the internet where simply businesses can use to expand their reach, build online stores, sell products, and ultimately generate more revenue. And also bringing services closer to the end users. And a good example that I've given is something like banking. One does not need to physically visit a bank or a government office in order to get a government service. So you're simply bringing those services closer to your end users. So those are some of the purposes of web development. But how do you actually develop for the web? How do you develop for the web? How do you develop websites and web application? And it's very simple and basic form. How do you design and develop a web page, a single web page? So we do that by the use of what we refer to as HTML. HTML simply stands for Hypertext Markup Language. Hypertext Markup Language. And this is the most basic building block of the web. The most basic building block of the web. So HTML is used to define the meaning and structure of web content. It is a building block for web pages. It is a building block for web pages. And one thing I just want to make very, very clear, HTML is not a programming language. It is not a programming language, rather it is a markup language. It is used to define structure. It is used to define structure like other programming languages. One is a markup language, not a programming language. That is the true definition of HTML. So we will come to see that HTML consists of a series of elements which are used to define the structure of a web page. So these ones interact in different ways, in different sections, so that to make a website appear or behave in a certain way. Okay, so we are going to see how we can do that. And at PLP, we always do things practically. We always do practically. We are very, very hands-on. We are very, very hands-on. So we will be going to our code editors. Just open your code editors, your preferred code editors, so that we can see how can we define the structure of these web pages using HTML. So please open your code editors. Make sure you have set up a directory that you will be working out of. My directory is called week1. So make it a habit of always just organize your work. Organize your work. It's good to be organized so that you have a clear distinction of what you learned and at what time. So currently we are in week 1 of web development. So maybe you have a directory called web development, and within it you have another directory called week 1, just to organize your work. Make it a bit neater. So before we see how we can structure, we can define the structure of a web page, maybe we can just go through what it entails to actually come up with that structure. So HTML web pages are made up of what we refer to as elements, HTML elements. And these are the building blocks of your web pages, HTML elements. So taking the scenario of a construction site, maybe a house is being built. We can liken HTML elements to the building blocks, the blocks that are used to make the house. We can liken them to HTML elements. So these are the actual building blocks of your web pages. And these HTML elements consist of tags. They consist of tags, attributes, and the content. Tags, attribute, and the content. These three together make up a HTML element. These three together make up a HTML element. So tags are the actual ones that are used to define a HTML element. Tags are the ones that are used to define a HTML element, and they take up this particular structure. They take up this particular structure. They are enclosed in angle brackets. Angle brackets. I think in mathematics, those ones, these are the less than and the greater than symbols. But in HTML, we refer to these ones as angle brackets. Angle brackets. So they take that form, and usually they are presented in two, or they come in pairs. We have the opening tag. We have the opening tag. So we have that angle bracket, and between the angle brackets, we have the tag name. And then we have a closing tag. We have a closing tag. The only difference here is the forward slash. The only difference is the forward slash on the closing tag. That is the only difference between the opening and the closing tag. But the tag name here is the one that defines the element that you want to specify on your web page, from paragraphs to headings to tables to forms to images and so on and so forth. That tag name is the one that describes or defines a particular element. So one of the most common tag names that you will come across is not tag names, tags. One of the most common tags you'll come across is the paragraph tag, and it is denoted by the letter P. It is denoted by the letter P. It is denoted by the letter P. So this is a paragraph tag. This is a paragraph tag. It's denoted by the letter P. So once we add content, I can say this is a paragraph. We add content and an attribute, then it becomes a HTML element. But sometimes attributes are not necessary. So in its own right, this can be classified as a HTML, a complete HTML element. So what is this attribute that we are mentioning now and again? What are these attributes that we are mentioning? Attributes are simply characteristics of a HTML element, or they provide information about a HTML element. And attributes usually, attributes, and say characteristics provide info. Provide info on an element. So these ones usually come within the opening tag. They are specified within the opening tag. So take, for example, our paragraph. Take, for example, our paragraph. Take, for example, our paragraph. Then the attribute will come inside the opening tag. And the attributes take on the structure of a name and value pair. A name and value pair. Name and value pair. So you have the name of the attribute followed by its corresponding value. You have the name of the attribute followed by its corresponding value. So for example, a good attribute that I can showcase here would be an ID attribute. An ID attribute. So I can call this P1. I can call that P1. That is an ID attribute. So the ID attribute, just like your student ID or your passport, this one uniquely identifies a HTML element on a web page. We might not get to use it exactly now, but we will interact with it as we progress in this web development journey. So that is an example of an attribute. That is an example of an attribute. Of course, there are various attributes that you can utilize, and some attributes are only specific to some HTML elements, okay? So be always mindful of the attributes that you want to use. They may not be universal for each and every element. Some are specific to only specific elements, okay? Yeah, so these are what define a HTML element. These are what define a HTML element. And when you bring all of these together in a web page or on a HTML document, then you will have created a web page. You will have created a web page. So let us go into creating our very first web page. Let us go into creating our very first web page. So first things first, we need a file. We need a file that will hold our markup language for our web page. We need a file that will hold our markup language for our web page. So what are we going to do? So let us create a new file. Let us create a new file. Let us create a new file. So there are two ways. There are two ways here that you can create a new file. One is from the file menu. One is from the file menu. Click on new file. Click on new file. There will be a pop-up. There will be a pop-up on the code editor window. And you can enter the name of your file there. So this will be index.html. Remember, when you are creating these files for your web pages, they need to have the .html extension. You need to save them with the .html extension. That is what identifies that file as a HTML file, okay? So you need to have that. So that is one way. And then when you click on enter, it should bring up a create file dialog box. And then you can click on create file. That will create for you that specific file according to the file name that you have defined. But just a point to note, the default file for HTML or for websites and web application is an index file. It is an index file. So that is why we've given our file the index name. That is why we've given our file the index name. So that is how one way in which you can create a new file. Another way is on your VS Code editor, there is a list of icons. The very first icon is the Explorer icon. So you can come here. You can come here and create a new file from here. Once you access the Explorer, you can create a new file from here. There is this icon. It looks like a document with a plus at the bottom right corner, with a plus symbol at the bottom right corner. So when you click on that, it will provide an input box. And here you can type the name of the file. You can type the name file. You can type the name of the file, and it will create for you the new file. So those are the two major ways in which you can create a file on your code editor. So just a disclaimer, for the purposes of the lessons and classes on at PLP, we use Microsoft Visual Studio Code for the purposes of practical sessions. This is the code editor that we use, but please feel free to use any other code editor that you are comfortable with. You are not restricted to this one in particular, okay? It's just that all my examples will revolve around Visual Studio Code, okay? So we've created our file. We've created our file. Before we proceed, I would like you to install an extension. I would like you to install an extension called Live Server. I would like you to install an extension called Live Server. So on the list of icons, there is this icon for the extensions. Just open it up. There is a search box at the top. Type live server. Type live server. And install the one by Retweak Day. Install the one by Retweak Day. I think this is very, very popular. Yeah, install the one by Retweak Day. You may need to relaunch your VS Code or not. Sometimes it works out of the box. Sometimes you need to restart your VS Code in order for it to start working. So I'll give you just a minute to do so. Okay, so I hope you have installed the extension. Hope you've installed the extension. We can go back to our file. Can go back to our file. So to define a web page, from the very first line, we need to indicate that we are doing the HTML markup language. So line number 1, we start with what we refer to as what we refer to as the document declaration type. The document declaration type. So the document declaration type, we simply declares which HTML version we are using. So currently, as an industry standard, we are on HTML5. We are on HTML5. This will be the very, very first one. So this is defined by the doc type keyword, followed by HTML. And these ones are enclosed within the angle brackets. And also point to note there is an exclamation mark before the doc type keyword. So this is the very, very first line that should be on each and every HTML web page. So this particular line simply tells the browser which version of HTML is being used so that the browser can properly render your web page. And by rendering, we mean display, so that the browser can properly display your web page. So over the years, people have been improving. The markup language has been improved over the years, and we are currently on HTML5. So the fact that this particular declaration is HTML on the doc type, that one defines the language The markup language we are using and the HTML version we are using is HTML5. You can look at previous versions of HTML, such as HTML4. So those versions would actually define the version, the actual version after using the HTML word here. So you'd find something like HTML 4.0 and so on and so forth. But with that simple line, you're simply defining that we are using HTML5. Can you please focus on the session first, and then I will give you a chance to ask your questions kindly. So that is line number 1. Very, very important. Very, very important. You don't want to confuse your browser, so make sure you have the document declaration type. Kindly, I am begging you, please concentrate on the session first. Eric, Frank, please. I'll give you a chance to ask your questions. So line number 2, the next most important element on your web page will be the root element. The root element is the HTML tag, the root element, and this one wraps each and every other element on your web page. This one wraps each and every other element on your web page. And this one is a normal tag. So this one has an opening and closing tag. It has an opening and a closing tag. After your root element, we have a head section. We have a head section. The head section defines or contains information about your web page. This one contains information about your web page. So you can give a description of your web page here. You can give your name as the author of the web page. You can include external files here. And one of the most common items or elements within the head section is the title of your web page. So let us go ahead and define a title. Let us define a title for our web page. It can be anything. It can be anything. Let me call it PLP Introduction to HTML. I'll mind that. So the head section, any information about your web page is usually found within this particular section. And finally, the last section is the body section. And in the body section, if you want anything to be visible within your web page, then it must reside within the body section. It must reside within the body section. And here is where you define all those things, from your paragraphs, to your images, to your videos, to your tables, to your lists, to your forms and so on and so forth, they will all reside within the body section. So remember, this is where everything that you want to be visible on your web page. Please note, on the web page, this is where that will be found. Remember, on the head, the information is usually not visible. It's never, not usually, is never visible on the web page. Information that is defined on the head section. That one is never visible on the web page. Rather, for the title, this one is visible on the browser tab. It is visible on the browser tab because this one defines the title of that web page. This is the only one that is visible on the browser tab. Any other information that you define here will not be visible anywhere on the browser. To not be visible anywhere on the browser. So in the body, we say this is where you define your content. We have the paragraph. Created my first page. I've created my first web page. So, as simple as that, that defines the basic structure of a web page. This defines the basic structure of a web page. So at the very least, these are items you will not miss on a typical web page. Number one, the document declaration type, very important. Number two, the root element, which is the HTML tag. Number three, the head section, which contains information about your web page. Number four, the body section, which contains each and every visible content on your web page. So you will not fail to miss those in a typical and standard web page. So that's this simple structure. 9 lines of code. 9 lines of code. These ones define the basic structure of a HTML web page. So how do we actually display this on a browser? So right from VS Code, number one, you can either press the F5 button. And this will launch your web page on your default browser. Or if it does not launch it immediately, it will give you a list of options to choose from. So you can choose your preferred browser from the drop-down that will be displayed. And once you click on that, it will launch the page on the browser you selected. So that is step number one. You can press F5. That is the most easiest way. You're pressing F5. And F5 is a shortcut for run and debug. F5 is a shortcut for run and debug on VS Code. Run and debug, we have an icon for run and debug right here. So that is the shortcut, F5. That is the shortcut, F5. Method number two. On your file explorer, you can simply right-click on the file. And select Open with Live Server. Remember the extension that we installed, then you can use that extension. So clicking on that will launch your web page on your default web browser, the default web browser on your local machine. Okay. Or method number three, on your VS Code editor, bottom right, you should see a section for Go Live. If this one is dependent on your installation, currently I do not have it, but it is dependent on your installation. So if you see a section written Go Live, you can click on that and it will open your default browser with your web page. And method number four, you can simply open your Explorer. You can simply open your File Explorer on your local machine, navigate to where you had selected to create your file, locate the file, and simply double click on that file. It will launch on your default web browser. So, question. Question. No, I have a question myself. On the chat box, who has been able to successfully create and launch a page? Thumbs up. Very, very good. Thank you. Thank you so much for that confirmation. Thank you. Very nice. Very, very nice. Your code has a syntax error. You do not have a closing tag for the paragraph. The code posted has a syntax error. So if you have successfully been able to do that, congratulations. You should be very, very proud of yourself. I can call you a beginner developer, but congratulations. That is very, very encouraging if you have done so. Congratulations. Yeah, so I'll do a recap. Of what we've gone through, then I'll give you not a Scrum Master. No. Not a Scrum Master. So I will give a recap of what we've gone through, and then I will take any questions. Oh, Maestro, really? So allow me to start off the chat and then give a recap of our simple web page. A simple web page. So start from the top. We start from the top. So the moment you want to create a web page, you will begin by creating your file. You need a file saved with a .html extension. Very, very important. So create a new file. You say there are several ways of creating a new file. You can use file, new file option, or you can use the Explorer and the new file icon. The new file icon to create a new file. Give it a name and make sure that it is saved. Once you've done so, then you can begin defining the structure of your web page using HTML. So line number one is the document declaration type. We say this one defines the version of HTML that we are going to use. The fact that we use that keyword HTML will inform the browser that we are currently using HTML5 as our HTML version. Next will be the HTML tag. Next will be the HTML tag. And this one is the root element. The root element. The root element surrounds and wraps every other element within your web page. Every other element within your web page is surrounded by the root element. So you cannot write HTML code, create the root element, and have other elements outside of it. That would be wrong. That is not a good coding practice. That would be very, very wrong. So once you define the root element, within it, we can define our different sections. And we have two major sections, the head and the body. We have the head and the body sections. So for the head section, we say this is where you define information about your web page. This is where you define information about your web page. Of course, as we proceed with our journey in web development, we'll be adding more and more information about our web pages. But for now and for today, the only one that we are interested in is the title. The only one that we are interested in is the title. So remember, we said we have opening and closing tags, and between these tags is where we have our content. So for our title, I will go with Introduction to HTML5. For our title, I will have that. And finally, our body section, whatever you need displayed on your web page, it must be within the body section. It must be within the body section. If you want it displayed, on your web page, it must be here within the body section of your web page, of your HTML file. So we simply had a paragraph here. I can say here is my first page. Okay. As simple as that. So we say this is the most basic structure of our web page. We will not fail to have these elements on a typical web page. Number one, declaration type. Number two, root element. Number three, the head section. Number four, the body section. Very, very important. Those four elements. Okay, so we can launch this file using either of the methods that we have. We have highlighted before. You can press F5. You can go with the live server. You can use the go live option, or locate the file from your file explorer and click on that file. It should open on your default browser. So this was mine. Yeah, this is my first web page. That is my title, Introduction to HTML5. So very clear. Okay, now I can take your questions. Yes, Frank. Frank, Purity, Calvin, Musso, and David, in that order. You can unmute and speak.
Hi, I actually didn't have a question. Your screen was so zoomed in that I couldn't see. So I wanted to request you to zoom out a little bit.
Okay, apologies for that. Purity. Calvin, Musso, David, Favor. Anyone who's ready, just proceed.
All right. Yeah. Good evening, sir. Can you hear me from
Good
Nigeria?
evening. Good
Yeah.
evening.
So I wanted to ask a question. I discovered that some of these developers, immediately they run their code, like they have written their code. When they have run it the first time, it doesn't demand them to go back and go live, go live, go live immediately they are done. So I wanted to know how we can do that. You understand? In case we have written our code, we don't have to be going back to click on the run button or follow some procedures for which to see what we are doing in the client side.
Yeah, so that you use the live server. Once you install the live server extension, any changes that you make will be immediately translated on the browser. So you do not have to go live, you do not have to launch the file every single time. Okay.
Okay. Because I've been using Brave for some of these classes I've been going on my own, but I discovered that it doesn't effect any change after I've gone live. So I don't know if Chrome
Live
does that.
server. Are you using the live server?
Yeah.
I'm not sure what the issue could be. But that should be the case. Any change that you make and immediately you save your file, it should reflect browser.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Hello, good evening.
Yes, good evening.
Yes, I was requesting, I don't have a question. I was requesting that you may check on your sound. It has some laggish background echo.
My sound.
Yes,
Yeah, okay.
thank you.
Next.
Hello, sir. Good evening,
Hello.
sir.
Yes.
Yeah, I wanted to ask this. What is the function of the paragraph? Is it compulsory through the paragraph?
I can't get you clearly.
Hello, can you hear me now? Can you hear me clearly? Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but there's some interference. I'm not sure what it is.
Hello.
Yes.
Yeah, my question is it compulsory to include the paragraph? Like, what's the function of the paragraph?
I'm really
I don't
not
know if you
getting
get
your
my
question.
question.
I'm not getting your question.
Hello.
There's some interference from your side. Can't hear you properly. Can you please type it on the Q&A section?
I think you should hear me now. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah, I said, is it compulsory we use the paragraph? Like, what's the function of the paragraph?
If you want a sentence on your web page, I don't think I've ever seen a page without a sentence or a piece of text.
I'm talking about
That
the
is the
paragraph.
purpose of the paragraph.
Okay. For sentence.
Yes.
Okay.
Hello. Good evening.
Hello.
Who's speaking?
Hello.
Who is speaking? I'm not sure. Collins.
Hello.
Good Collins. Yes,
Good evening.
Collins. Good evening.
I was just asking, instead
Yeah.
of using the VS Code,
Yeah.
can you use the Sublime text tool?
Your preference. If you get an issue on Sublime, I'll not be able to assist.
Okay.
Yes, because we primarily use VS Code, and I'm sure you were informed that during your software engineering class. So we like to keep it standard across. But if you have a preference to use any other code editor, please feel free to do so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yes, Joseph.
I wanted to ask the last part of the VS Code. After writing all those, where would I click to get that sentence in the new tab?
Right?
I've done everything in the VS Code, everything that we were typing, but haven't got to the last part.
How to launch?
Yes.
Yeah, so you can either press F5 on your keyboard.
Press?
That is method number one. You can press F5 on your keyboard.
Yes.
It should give you a list of options to choose from. You can select your preferred browser. That should launch your file. You can use the live server context menu once you right click on the file itself. If you've installed the live server extension. There is a go live section on VS Code that should be on the bottom at the bottom right. You'll see a go live option that you can select. Method number 4 would be to open your file explorer and navigate to where the file is saved. Double clicking on it should launch it in your default browser.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Anyone else?
Hello?
Yes, Geoffrey.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Thank you. Thank you very much, sir. My question is on the assignment part now.
I'll address assignments at the very end kindly. If you don't mind, let us address issues for this session first.
Thank you.
Who's this? Anderson.
I would like to answer a question which has been asked by one of us about not being able to see the changes on in Chrome. So you can either press Control S or refresh on the Chrome, then you can be able to see the changes. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Anderson. Next.
Hi, Eddie.
Hello.
Who is speaking? Eunice.
Hello. Can you hear me?
That Eunice. Who is speaking?
Hello.
Yes.
I want I want to question. Can you use keyword for title? Maybe the keyword that you want to be popping up on your web page.
Popping up. You use a very ambiguous word, popping up. Can you rephrase your
Hello?
question? Hello?
My question is, can you use on the title, when you're creating a title there, where you're supposed to create your title, can you put instead of a title, maybe a keyword that you want to be popping up on your web page? Maybe like Diani or Mombasa, something that you use for your keyword that people, when they search your web page, they find you there.
No. Not on the title. Not on the title. So we have what we refer to as meta tags. And meta tags, a particular meta tag that you would find. Can you please mute if you're not speaking? Yeah. So we have what we refer to as meta tags. There's one specific meta tag that you can use to define what you are referring to as keywords. So it is not the title. So we have that meta tag. This one provides information about information. So we have an attribute. We can call that keywords. We have an attribute called keywords, and then we have content, and this is where now you would list your keywords. You said like Diani, you can say tourists, nights, sandy beaches, and so forth. Yeah? And so forth. So meta tags will give you the ability to add that extra information. So this is what I think you are looking for. So with these keywords, when a search engine crawls the internet and comes across your website or your web pages and goes through your web pages and finds this particular meta tag, then it should be able to categorize your web page using these different keywords that you are provided as categories. Okay? Such that when your website is, when somebody is searching for Diani, then the search engine would remember from its database, I had a certain website that had these specific keywords, and therefore bring it up as a list of items, among the list of items from the search. I hope that one is clear. Was that was Eunice?
Hello, Eddie.
Yes.
When do I know how to indent the indentation? Yeah.
Yeah, usually it's for every new line. Every new line, for any new thing that you're introducing on the web page, just to it has no major implication rather than just to make your code organized and more readable. So anything within the same level, they usually fall within the same line. So for example, you can see my head section and my body section. Since they both fall within the same level, they are in the same line. But anything that falls inside them, then I indent them further inside, and I indent them further inside. So, but there's no major implication on how you arrange your code other than just making it readable and neat and seem a bit more organized. Okay, it has no implications on how it is run or how it is executed. Okay.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
Hello, Eddie.
Come in.
Yes, David.
How are you?
I'm fine.
So I was asking, is HTML a case-sensitive language that, for example, when I capitalize the P, does it have any implication?
No, HTML is not case sensitive.
Okay.
But as a rule of thumb, as a coding best practice, we usually use small letters, except for this document declaration type. We usually
Okay.
use small letters, but it is not case sensitive. You can do capital for the tag names, it will still work.
Okay, thank you.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
You see, there's this meta name keywords, the line that is underneath head. I'm a bit left behind on that one because I'd like to know what does that line does.
Yeah, I'm convinced.
Hello?
I haven't gotten your question.
Hello?
Could you please run this code? I want to
Hello?
see what does this line, the one written meta name keywords, content, Diani, tourist, white, send, choose. What does that line do on this on
the
this
browser,
HTML?
it does nothing.
Oh, okay.
Remember we said the information within the head section will not appear anywhere on the browser. Rather than the only thing that will appear is the title.
All right.
Anything else does not appear anywhere on the browser. Okay?
Right.
So this particular meta tag, this one in particular, if you're not speaking kindly, mute. This particular meta tag, this one is used by search engines. It is used by search engines such that when they are going through your web page, they find this particular tag, they are notified that these are words that categorize or identify what this web page is for. Okay? What this web page is for. And this one is mostly used by people who are looking to optimize their ranking within those search engines. In a process we refer to as search engine optimization. Okay?
All right. All right.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Hello. I have a question.
Yes.
The content within the meta for search engine optimization. I wanted to ask where do we get those keywords from in order to know which are the best to use when launching a site, the site to know the best ones, or do we come up with them from our heads? How is it best to go about it?
Yeah, you just come up with them. Please mute if you're not speaking. Mostly you come up with them because you are the one who knows how best to describe your website or your web pages. Because remember, um, it is just a common person like you who is searching the internet. So what do you search for when you go on the internet? If you are looking to go to a tourist destination, you search for good hotels, you search for cheap hotels, or you search for places of interest, something like white sandy beach or tourist destination, and so on and so forth. So these words, mostly you just come up with them to accurately describe your web page or your website. Okay. But of course, there are those popular words that would accurately describe your service, the service you're trying to offer. Okay. I'm sure you can find them online or just somewhere else, or have someone who is guiding you on how to accurately describe your business using some keywords. Yeah. So you just come up with them. There's no like database somewhere that you go, and these are the keywords. If you have a if you have a hotel, these are the keywords that you need to use now. Because it is a common person like you and me who will be searching the internet. So put yourself in their shoes. What would they type on a search engine to look for a service like yours?
Okay. Thanks.
Okay. Next.
Good evening, sir.
Yes, good evening.
Yeah, I want to find out on a web page, if there are more than one heading on a web page, how do we go about it? Because how do we arrange it? Because you use one heading. In case there are more than one heading, how do we go about it? Using the tag, how do we go about it?
You define every heading on its own. Yeah? You define
Can you hear
every
me now?
heading on its own. Yes, I can hear you.
Okay.
You define each and every heading on its own. We're going to showcase that in a minute. You cannot put every heading together.
All right, sir.
Yeah, you define each one and every heading on its own.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
We're going to showcase that. Just be patient a bit. Next question.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes, Geoffrey.
It's Geoffrey again. Thank you, sir, for giving me this opportunity. So out of I was just very curious. There is a question I've posted on the question and answer. I've seen somewhere where now our meta is a bit different. It is written meta chasset UTF -8. What does that really mean? And then another meta also says meta viewpoint content with device with initial scale is equals to 1.0.
Okay. Yeah, I will explain that. There are some things I was avoiding because this is an introduction class. I really don't want to confuse people. But we can begin with the chart set. So this meta tag that you posted here, let me copy and translate to my page. So there's this first one on line 4. The char set UTF-8. So there's something we call character encoding. Character encoding. Character encoding is simply how the let me just call it the browser or the browser engine, how the browser engine will translate or define some special characters that may be used on your web page. So there are different types of character encodings, but UTF-8 is the most common one. It is the most common one. And most common and the recommended form of encoding that you can define. So this one is like a default. Most cases we do not define it. Most cases we do not define it because we consider it a default. But in the event that you are using some other special characters within your web page that would require some different character encoding, then this value would be different. This value would be totally different. Okay. But that one is a more advanced meta tag. That one is a more advanced meta tag. I really don't want to get so much into it. The second one, on line number 5, the viewport. Now, this one we will get to interact with it when we will be going through CSS and looking at how we can make our web pages responsive. And by a responsive web page, what do I mean? A responsive web page is a web page that will automatically resize based on the device screen width. That is what a responsive web page does. It automatically resizes based on the device screen that is accessing that web page. So if you want to develop for responsive web pages, then this meta tag is very, very important. This meta tag is very, very important. The viewport is what we refer to as the device screen. The viewport is the device screen that we're referring to as, and we set that to the device width, the entire width of that device, so that when the browser is rendering that page, it takes or it measures the device width, and according to the rules, the CSS rules that you have defined, the browser will be able to automatically adjust that page in order for the page contents to fit into that device screen. Okay, so we'll get to interact with this when we get to CSS. That one we'll definitely interact with. So be patient, huh? Okay. And next question.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, Eunice.
So I have two questions. On the head part, you say the head part contains all the information about your web page. So let's say, example, creating a real estate website. I have a company. My first question is, all the information about my company, will it be on the head or will it be on the body? Because you said on the body is where all the content are visible only from the body. So my first question is, will the information about my company be on the head or on the body so that it's visible? And my second question is, can you also use pictures or a visual thing on the head?
Okay. So thank you for your question. Very good question. Now, probably I should have been more descriptive when I said information about your web page. So by information about your web page, I actually meant this you provide a summarized version of the information that you want to present. Okay, so like the example you've given, a real estate company. So you can have a meta tag for see, let me copy this. You can have a meta tag for description. You can have a meta tag for description. And on the content, you just simply give a summary of your real estate company. So you can say this is a real estate company based in Kenya. We deal in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Just a summarized version of what is represented on that particular web page. To answer number 2, your second question, any information within the head, apart from the title, any information within the head is not displayed anywhere within the browser. Apart from the title and the favicon. I don't know if you guys know what a favicon is. A favicon is this one. See this image before the title. That is what I'm referring to as a favicon. So those are the only two things that are displayed when they are on the head. Those are the only two things. Anything else is only consumed by the browser and search engines. Okay, I hope that is very, very clear. So if you want information about your organization, your business, or you as an individual to be displayed on your web page, then it better reside where? Within the body. So images, videos, sentences and paragraphs explaining what you do, your services, will all be within the body if you want them to be displayed. I hope that is clear. Yes, next. Purity, Lois, Pauline, David, and the
Hello.
rest.
Good evening. Hello, good evening.
Purity, please go first. Lois, just a minute. Yes, Purity.
Good evening. Yes,
Good
good
evening.
evening. Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes, 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 proceed.
Yes, my question is on my LMS, the web technology version, I have the 2.0, but from my peers, I can see there's web technologies version 1.0. Is it the same?
Yeah, so we had slight issue earlier. You should be on web V2. You'll be on web V2. That is the correct module. So yeah, so if yours is not updated, it will so in an hour or so. Just keep on checking. Make sure you are on V2.
Okay, thank you.
Next, Lois. Lois, you can proceed.
Hello,
Yes.
good evening.
Good evening.
So my question is just about to ask you whether if you can use these commands like clear, then it may remove all these commands, like from that declaration statement up to the closing HTML.
Sorry?
Is it applicable?
I do not understand your question.
And my question is just to ask whether if you can use these commands like especially clear, then it remove all the process from declaration statement up to the end.
No, the clear command is used on the console. This is a file.
Okay.
The clear command is used on the console.
But here it doesn't apply here.
No, it does not apply here. This is a file. We are not on the console. Okay?
Okay.
This is not a console. This we are on a file. We are inside a file. We are editing and modifying a file.
Okay, now I get it.
Next. Next.
Good evening.
Yes, good evening.
My question is, do we always have to go through this process to create a code, or there is a shorter way of getting this stuff?
Hey, I've never seen lazy people such as you guys. Always looking for shortcuts.
Because I know there's something like using HTML5 and enter.
Uh, you like shortcuts. You like shortcuts.
It's not
If
about
there is
shortcuts, it's
one,
just
if there is one, I'm not sure. Okay. And anyway, I'm not here to teach shortcuts. I am here to show you the proper way to write code. Okay.
okay.
Yes, if you want a shortcut, you'll have to research on your own. Me, I'm here to show you the proper way to write code, the proper way to become good developers. So I'm not sure if there's a shortcut. Though.
Okay, no problem.
Next.
Eddie,
Not especially when you're lying through your teeth.
Eddie, can you hear me?
Hey, David, can you turn off the TV?
Okay, so my question is, okay, so does it mean that in the head section, you should mostly input the title, as in, unafaa kuweka, can I speak in Swahili? Okay,
No, no.
okay.
We have we have guys from around the continent. They need to
yeah, I get it.
understand you.
So my take is it true to say that in the head, most important thing is the title? If the other things are not going to be displayed, so the title is the most important.
I wouldn't call it the most important because all these other forms of information have their own purposes. So for someone who is specializing or concentrated on search engine optimization, then these other pieces of information are also important to them. Okay. Later on, we'll come to see the addition of external resources such as CSS files and JavaScript files. So they're also important. So I wouldn't call title the most important. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. Next, anyone, your raised hand. I think I've given you a chance to speak. So if you're just ready, just speak. Gloria.
Hello.
Yes. Yes, Eunice.
Sorry to ask you another question. I'm really so interested in creating a website. So I have one last question. When you're creating like this, so where will you put maybe a contact or call information where people, when they click on, when they go to search engine and they see your page and they click and how they can reach you? Do you put it up or you put it down? And also, my last question is, can I use one web page to display everything, to display all my goods and products, what I'm doing, or I have to create multiple?
Thank you, Eunice, for your question. Okay, so to answer your first question, the structure and the layout of your web pages will entirely depend on you as the developer or whatever design you want to achieve. So the position of your contacts will entirely depend on you. But as a rule of thumb, I think contact information should be very, very prominent if you contact information should be very, very prominent if your primary focus is for your users to be able to reach you. So maybe somewhere at the top would be ideal. Somewhere at the top would be ideal. Something very prominent so that it catches the user's eye, so that that is something that they see at the very first time when they access your web page. So that sticks to their mind, so that um, they are made aware there is this phone number you can actually call us, or there is this email address you can reach us, or there is this social media site you can reach us there. Okay. So, but the layout of your web pages will entirely depend on you as the developer, or if you are working with a designer, it will depend on design the designer presents to you. Your second question, yes, you can put everything on one single page. We have what we refer to as single page websites, where everything is just on one single page. They have an advantage and also a disadvantage. Advantage is everything is just on one page. Somebody just goes through that one single page. A disadvantage is with everything on one page, your page tends to be very long. Somebody will get bored in the middle while scrolling. So that is a major disadvantage. Okay. Next, Gloria, Purity, Andrew, Justin.
Yeah. Could you go to the HTML elements file? I just want to take a screenshot.
This one?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Okay. That's all. Thanks.
Okay, you're welcome. Anyone else? Anyone else? Eric, Brian. I've given so many people to talk. They're not speaking for some reason.
Good evening.
Yes, good evening. Who's speaking?
Fidel.
Yes, Fidel.
Okay, my question is, how did you create the week one directory?
Directory.
Yes.
A directory.
That week one.
Directory. You are not. You don't know how to create a directory. Directory should. That one is very easy. On your file explorer, you can create a new folder. Huh? On your file explorer, you can create a new folder.
Yes.
From your file explorer.
Yes, I can.
Yeah, you can either create it from your file explorer or so this is week two.
Okay.
Or from VS Code on your terminal, you can use mkdir to create a new folder.
Thank you.
Yes, hello.
Yes, Brian.
Yeah, this is Brian. I have a question. So my question is based on the content that is in the LMS. So you find that we have uh, we have several contents there. So my question them, and during the after the 8th week, when doing now the final project, we will now be working on one module, whether it is Python programming or it is database or it is how are we supposed to tackle it? Because I'm seeing in each module we have week one, week one. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, so you find each module has a specific week up to week 8. So how are
Yeah.
we supposed to cover those content so that at least we be at ease and not undergo a certain pressure? Thank you.
Okay. So for this first phase, every module is compulsory, unfortunately, or fortunately. No, it is fortunately. It is for your own good. Every module is compulsory. So you are um you are at least required to attend one live session for each module. And that is only like 2 hours per day. So like Monday is web, Tuesday is Python, Visual About Wednesday. Thursday we have, I think it is entrepreneurship or database. And then Friday we have entrepreneurship or database. So you're just only required to at least dedicate 2 hours each day for the different modules. Okay. So that is for the next 8 weeks. After that is when you will get to specialize. And for specialization, we have different tracks that you can take up. We have a specialization for full stack development. You have a specialization for mobile. You have a specialization for AI in software engineering. You have a specialization for software testing. And some more others specializations in which you can take up. So for now, I think everything is compulsory because it is only introduction. It is only introduction for now. It is nothing hard. Yes, next.
Okay, understood.
Kelvin, David, Brian, Justin, Wilson, Patience, Collins.
Hello. Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
This is Justin. So my challenge right now has been there are too many questions, and it is just for me. I'm at beginner level, so these too many questions brings a lot of confusion in my understanding. I don't know how it will now be possible if you can do the review of the thing we are supposed to understood for this particular session. Thank you.
Okay. I do another recap. I've already done it twice. I do another recap. But the questions your colleagues are asking are very valid questions, valid to actually what you're going to do. So
Hiyo deriwache kama neno kinini nlo handi.
Hello, sir.
let's see if we get some time, we'll do a recap. Yes.
Good evening. Hello, sir. I'm Wilson.
Yes, Wilson.
my question is that in my LMS, I'm having web technologies v2.0, and when I look at the contents, it is not like the other. It's not like supposed to have to be like. It's just showing. I don't understand because I had differed from the last cohort and I had submitted some assignments, and now I'm logging to the LMS, and I'm now seeing web technologies V2, of which the content is different. Like week 1, introduction web development, advanced, then like it's not like how it's supposed to be. How is it supposed to be? Or can you explain something on that? Like I don't understand.
This is how it is supposed to be. Yeah,
Yes.
what you had before, it was totally different. This is the new approach we are taking.
Okay.
Evening. Want some more?
We're speaking
Okay,
Collins.
thank you.
Evening.
Yes, Collins.
Malim, from my own understanding, I can see that for you to write the code, you need to know the HTML syntax. Or you just go the way.
Yes, you need to know
Hello?
the syntax. Yes, I can hear you.
I'm trying to get to know, for you to write this HTML code, you need to have the syntax.
Yes, you do. I think we've gone through the syntax. We've gone through the elements, the tab names, the attributes, and the content. That is the basic syntax.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Hello.
Is that Geoffrey?
Yes, please, sir.
Yes, Geoffrey.
You told me you are going to answer a question I asked about now submitting this assignment. Please.
Yeah, we are not at the end of the session. Yeah, I will answer. I will answer. Please remind me. I will answer. Anyway, yeah, I think most of you now are straying. It's no longer about the session, it is about the LMS. So let us get back on track, right? Let's get back on track. So somebody asked I do a recap of what we've gone through. So today what we have gone through is simply creating the basic structure of your HTML web pages. At the very least, you need to have something that looks like this when you are creating a web page. So I'll get rid of the meta tags. Does not confuse others. Get rid of the meta tags and just have something clean like that. So line number 1, as always, line number 1, let me open the chat box so you guys can also give me your answers. Yeah. Line number 1, what is line number 1 on your HTML file? What is line number 1? Line number 1 on the chat box, Let me see if you're paying attention. On the chat box. In the chat box, not Q&A, on the chat box. Document declaration, very, very good. The document declaration. Document declaration, which defines the specific HTML version that we are using. What is the second element? What is the second element that you need to define? Second element that you need to define, the root element. Thank you, Chris. Very, very good. The root element, which wraps around each and every other element on your web page. Very nice, very nice. After the root element, what element comes next, and what is its purpose? After the root element, we have the head section. What is the purpose of the head section? Head section, what is the purpose? What is the purpose? Not description, not name of the web page, no, something else. Information about your web page. Thank you, Duncan. Very, very good. Yeah, the head section, you use that to define information about your web page. Very, very nice, very nice. And finally, we have the body section. What is the purpose of the body section? Body section. Content of the web page. Very, very nice. So whatever you need to be displayed on your web page, then you define it within the body section of your web page. Yeah, that was very, very nice. Very nice, very nice, very nice. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much for your answers. That was very, very nice. Collins, you have something to say? David, you have something to say?
Yes.
Yes, David.
Am I audible?
Yes.
I wanted to ask, after, let's say, for example, at the end of the session, I choose to specialize with web development. Will I be able to create a website based on front end only, or I'll do like a whole package of both the front end and the back end part using Python maybe?
For web development, you have to do both. Because the second phase now brings in back-end development. So you have to do both. How can we certify you if you only do one?
So like generally, let's say like it would be like both front end and back end for you to be able to do the whole project.
Yes.
Nice. Okay. That's all.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. I think now I can go to Geoffrey on the assignment. So let me just address the assignment before. Yeah, I think our session is almost over. The assignment. So please check and confirm you should be on Web V2. Should be on Web V2. If not, try logging out and logging in back again and check. Otherwise, it will be updated on your own account very, very soon. I think it's taking a bit of time. So just check and confirm you're on V2. Very, very important. So for your assignment, you know where the assignment section is. You access the assignment, click on the link, or copy and paste the link on a new tab. It will navigate you to GitHub Classrooms, ask you to accept the assignment, and once you do, once you accept the assignment, you will see the instructions for that particular assignment. So the assignment is very, very simple. You're simply creating a basic web page that has to contain several elements. Remember, you're creating a new file. Please do not edit the README file and put your assignment there. No, you are creating a new file. The assignment clearly states create an index.html file. So follow instructions. You are creating a new file. Please do not edit the README file. Create a new file, do the assignment, and make sure you push. Make sure you push and commit your changes to the assignment repository. Okay. Once you're done, copy the link to the repository and paste it on the LMS on the assignment submission form. That is clear. So, Geoffrey, what was your question?
I'm sorry, Malimu, but
yeah.
I'm sorry, I'll be taking you back again on submitting assignment on GitHub. Please, if you have that time, please just this will be the last time you are telling me specifically about submitting with. Sorry, please.
Yes, Geoffrey. So, what is your question?
Now, I have actually opened. I was just doing a trial on how to submit it. I clicked the link on the assignment. Actually, it popped, and then it took me to my GitHub account, which I had actually created when we were first being introduced to this course. Now I am. I've heard you say that we have to create. We don't need to use the README account. We have to create another one. Now that is where I'm stuck. I don't know because I have the HTML whatever I wanted to post it. So I don't know. I delete whatever is in the screen and then I post it there and then I commit.
No.
Should I?
No.
I wish you can please.
Let me ask a question. Were you taught how to clone a repository?
Yes, but I've really forgot. That's why I was requesting to be for the last time you're showing me this.
Okay. Yeah, so there are two ways in which you can go about this assignment. One, the most easiest. I have the assignment here somewhere. Yeah. So once you accept the assignment, you will be taken to a page like this. So these are the objectives and instructions. Create an index HTML file, structure the document using doc-type HTML, head and body, include at least a header, nav, main section, footer. Okay. So those are the instructions. So the most easiest, if you do not want any stress, the most easiest you can do is just on GitHub, this GitHub website, you can add file. Okay? You can add file and create new file. Click on create new file, and here at the top, you give your file a name. Give your file a name, and then you enter your contents here. Let me just copy what I have here. Copy what I have there, and then I commit the changes. If I have a message, I will do so. So if you can see, I have an additional file, the index.html, and it has the content that I pasted. So that one is the most easiest. That is the most easiest you can do, okay? And once you're done, you simply copy this URL link, go back to LMS on the assignment section, paste that link there and submit your assignment. Now, that one is the most easiest. Method number 2, you clone this repository. What do you mean by cloning? You make a copy of the repository available on your own local machine. So once it is available on your own local machine, then you can proceed to create the index file, do the instruction, complete it, make sure you've saved your file, and then commit the changes back to the repository via the terminal. I hope you are taught that. You are taught git clone, git commit,
Yes.
git push, all that. So you'll go through that process, making sure the code changes have been committed back to the repository. And once you're done, again, you'll copy the URL on the repository and paste it on the assignment section on the LMS and submit it. So those are the only 2 ways in which you can go through that assignment. It is clear, Geoffrey? And everyone else? So if you have something to say, please. If you have a question.
Hello.
Yes.
So I have a question. How do you add a footer?
Sorry?
How do you add a footer?
I will not answer that. That is part of your assignment. But a footer is part of what we refer to as semantic HTML elements. Sorry, I did not cover that one. I think the time is how much gone. But you can look at videos for the morning session and afternoon session. They offer some insight on this. So this is how you add a footer. A footer is part of what we refer to as semantic HTML elements. Semantic HTML elements are elements that clearly describe their meaning. If I gave you a semantic element, you would instantly know what it is for. So if I told you, like I'm just written here footer, you just know what it is for. This is the footer for the footer section. So this is how you put a footer.
Yeah.
For footers, this basically contains information at the very bottom of your page. So things like contact information, copyright information, that is where you'd find something of this sort. So I can say 2025 PLP, all rights reserved. Yeah,
So do I
something
edit
of the
after the
sort.
body or before the body?
Remember, every content must be where? Every
In the
content
body.
must be where? Inside the body. Very good.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Any other question? I don't want to keep you here for long.
Maybe.
You know, some people report me that I'm keeping you for long.
Hello, Eddie.
Yes.
Sorry, I want to ask you a question. I don't know whether it's relevant or irrelevant. I want to be a software tester.
Yeah,
That's my
software tester.
yes, that's a career line that I would like to take. And I don't know what to specialize in. Should I specialize in full stack? I already know I want to specialize in software testing. I will take that, but I wanted to take it alongside another specialization.
Mm.
Which one would you recommend?
So If you want to be a good software tester, you need to be a good developer. That's a given. You cannot test things you're not aware of or you do not know how they work. So you definitely have to be a good developer if you want to be a good tester.
Hello. So I take full stack.
Yes.
Okay, thanks. Hello.
Next question.
Hello.
Yes,
Asking,
Gloria. Oh,
what did you use to run your VS Code? Did you use exam? Because when I open mine, it's showing me the things that were in GitHub.
no, I don't use XAMPP. So to launch your pages, that's what we've said. These are plain HTML pages. You do not need a special application to run them. They will just run on the browser. Okay. So to launch, we've given three methods to do that. You can either use the live server, you can use the run and debug option, or locate where the server where the file is saved and just double click on the file. It will launch on a browser.
I'm saying I cannot add another file. I cannot open a file.
You need to see your screen. Are you in a position to share your screen? No? Next. Any other
Hi, teacher.
question? Yes, Calvin.
Yes, thank you for the wonderful session. So I have two questions. One is, how do we edit the fav icon? Because you see, normally even for web pages, most of them will have the icon. Probably it's a brand logo on their title as well. And the next one is on the submission of the assignments. Probably would you clear if we are not meant to be editing the read.md file, because I think I've been doing it wrongly. It seems I missed something because I've been getting errors on mine.
That one is specifically for web dev. I cannot comment on last week's classes.
Okay.
Yeah, so for specifically for web dev, you will not be editing the README files. You will be creating new files. You'll be creating new files, either index or JavaScript or CSS files. So here we will not be editing the README files.
All right.
So for the favicon, I was thinking we'd cover this during next week for the advanced session. But for the favicon, we use the link tag. I will confuse you guys. Maybe it's next week. Can we meet next week?
Not a problem. Let me substitute this one with the other one. What is the difference between the footer and a MAQ? Is it a MAQ or MAQ?
MAQ. I haven't seen a MAQ for a very long time. Is it even a valid HTML element nowadays?
I don't think so.
Yeah, that one I saw it a long time ago. But a marquee is usually a piece of text that you see going across a web page. That is what a marquee was back then. I don't know. I don't think it is in use now. Maybe nowadays we use some form of JavaScript or CSS to make text move across the web page. But there's really no relation between a marquee and a footer. Okay, marquee was just used to display a message across your web page. For the footer, this one is used to mostly for information that resides at the very bottom of the page, at the very end of the page. So things like contact information, copyright information, other links to other pages or other resources, those ones reside at the very bottom of your web page. Any other question? Any other question?
I'm sharing my screen.
Yes, Gloria. Proceed. Any other question from anyone else? Philip, Mary, Maritim, Patience. Yes, Philip.
Did you say the current assignment we are not supposed to edit the README files?
We're not supposed to edit README files. I think the instruction is very clear on the assignment. Create an index file. That is the instruction on the assignment.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Anyone else? Anyone else? Let me know out if you have a question.
Can I ask for the last time? I'm not sure if I understood the meta part. What does it do?
For the meta part.
Hello.
Yes.
Just a moment to speaking, just a moment. For the meta part, the meta tags, they are used to provide additional information about your web page. So you have different information that you can represent with the meta tags, as we saw earlier. You can have things like the character encoding. You can have keywords for the search engines. You can have descriptions for the search engines also. You can even put up your name as the author of the web page. So the meta tags are usually used to define, summarize information about your web page. That is their main purpose.
Oh, all right.
That information is usually consumed by the browser or search engines. That one is not for humans like us. It is for the browser and search engines.
Also, it's not going to appear on the document.
No, never.
Hello. Hello, Gloria. Hello.
Hearing you.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes. Okay. I want to ask something. I have issues with submitting assignment. I don't know. I've been having a lot of issues since we started. And I actually, because of some issues, I never attended this kind of presentation or maybe these classes, online classes. So I've been having issues with assignment in, actually, giving, because I can't access the whenever I put in the procedure. Sometimes I get lost. Sometimes I just want to a preview of it here, how to submit them. Yeah.
Yeah. So Gatrek.
Yeah.
Which module are you referring to?
It is
because
software engineering.
Yeah, so with all due respect, I will direct you to the software engineering instructor. I am not at liberty to address issues for the software engineering class, okay? So his email address is Charles. His
And
email
also on
address
the same
is
note, yeah, let me come again. Another on the same note on web development. It's like for me, I'm starting today. I don't know whether this is the where we're starting today or we have been doing some, you know, some lesson before. We have done some lesson before. It is our first time today doing web development.
the past
Web
class.
development.
This is the
First class.
past
Okay.
class.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. Okay. Thank you. I just logged in right now, but anyway, I will catch up here. No problem. Yeah. So you said I should contact the instructor of software engineering.
Yes, please.
Okay. Okay. No problem. Thank you.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Yeah, Michael here.
Just a minute, Michael. Just a minute, kindly. I think Gloria is waiting for us. Something she wanted to share. Just a minute. Gloria, if you're there, please proceed. Okay. Michael, you can proceed. You can proceed. I don't know if Gloria is
Okay,
ready.
apologies. I think I'll take you back again. I've been quite engaged with work. I have just joined. I was able to follow through. My challenge here is to be able to save the file. I don't know how I can show you what I've done, but I think I'm having challenges.
Okay, I'll give you a chance to present what you have. So just join as a panelist and then we'll get to you.
Are you able
Yes,
to see my
Gloria.
screen?
Yes. Yeah, proceed.
Where? Are you seeing my screen?
Yes.
Now what do I do?
Hi, Gloria. We are at the end of the session.
No, I didn't know what was going on. It was not doing like this.
The first thing I said, you need to create a folder for your work. Click on open folder. Navigate to where you want to place your folder and then create a folder there. Where do you want to place your schoolwork folder? Your PLP work folder. Now just click on new folder at the top.
Sini ni templates too.
Yeah, give your folder a name. Okay, select. Select. So now you can create the file, find the code, save the file, you'll be good to go. Okay?
Okay, thank you. Let me keep trying.
Oh, you're good to go. What are you trying? Just create a new file, give it a name, click on new file, click on new file, give it a name, index.html. Just type index.html. There's an input box at the top. Type index. No. File. Just go to file menu. File. File. You see the pop-up that has appeared at the center of your page. There's a place saying select file type or enter file name.
Oh,
Can you put the file name there, please? Index.html. Center. Select create file. It'll be okay. A good man.
only that.
Yeah. So you created the file. That was the issue, yes?
Oh,
Huh?
it's gonna do
Now you will go through the recording and put up the code. Eh?
Okay, thank you.
Sir, before you leave,
Yes.
I am not sure which document we're supposed to be copying because I only see instructions. Are we supposed to write a document from scratch? Because I can't
Yes,
see the
you are.
content that we're supposed to be copying.
It is an assignment. You're not supposed to be copying. You're supposed to be creating a new file.
Oh, according to the instructions, right?
Yeah. Okay. Any other question?
Okay, understood. Thank you.
Yes,
Should I
Michael.
go on?
Yes,
I just
yes.
want to show you what I have. I join as a panelist. Yes.
Yes, please. Yeah, any other question? As we wait for Michael.
I have a question.
Yes.
My question is, earlier I heard that the version of the course that we're supposed to have for the web development is not version 1.0, 1.0.
Yeah. So you need to be looking at V2. So try logging out and logging in again. If it is not yet updated, then try again in the next 1 hour. It's taking quite
Okay.
a bit of time to update here.
All right. Thank you so much.
Okay. Yes, Michael. Michael, you can unmute.
Okay. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Yes. So that's my screen. Where do I go from there?
I think you're pretty much done. So next, you just need to save your file.
I
Save
do
this
what?
file. Save.
I go to file.
Yeah, you can go to file, save, or you can
Yeah.
do Control plus S. Yes, save.
Save. Okay.
Yes.
That's
Next, you need to launch on a browser. So press F5.
What do I do again? Sorry.
Press F5 on your keyboard.
F5.
Have you done so?
It's not working.
F5 is not working. So just go to the run menu.
I go where?
The run menu. The menu bar, there's run.
Yeah. Guide me, sir. I do not know this. You mean this?
Yes, run. Yeah.
Okay.
So you can either do that. Start debugging.
Okay.
Yeah. So you can select your preferred browser.
Okay, Chrome.
That should launch your web page on the browser.
Oh, okay. I think I'm good to go. Thank you.
So anyone else? That's next. Anyone else? Before we end the session, hey, it's 9 p.m. Anyone else? Anyone else?
Okay. Good evening, sir.
Let's say.
Yes, Michael.
I was trying to ask about our LMS content because I can see today on Monday we are having the web development. Then tomorrow on Tuesday we are beginning Python, and I'm just confused and stranded because when I check on the web, the content of the web development it is too huge. And tomorrow we are starting Python, and the mind is just overloaded, and I'm just confused.
Yes, it is huge. Yes, I'm not disputing, but we are covering things every week. So for web development, we are done for the week. You know? So we're covering a topic each week. Not every day. Not every day. So tomorrow you will be going through Python.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes. Next question. Let us wind up, please. If you have a question,
Hey, sir,
please.
will you please wind up on today's assignment?
Where were you when I was going through the assignment? There.
Teacher, maybe I have something to add on that one. Hello?
Yes, I will.
Yes, probably you'd be giving us time so that we know probably from 8:30 to 9, it's a question and answer time so that we don't have people coming in and just taking us aback, whereas we've been here from 6:30 or so. It can be a disservice to some of us who've been here.
I know and understand. The problem is some of us do not join in time. That is the most big problem here. Some of us do not join in time, so they really keep pushing us back. But anyway, I think I have covered each and every item. So if you need a recap, the recording will be made available on the LMS in the next hour. I've already uploaded the videos for the morning session and the afternoon session. This one will be available in the next hour after it finishes rendering. Okay. So I think I can comfortably end the session there. We are in agreement.
Yes, yes, and have a good night.
Yeah, thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for your time. Thank you for your questions. That has been a very engaging session. So we will meet next week where we'll be tackling advanced HTML and get to see how can you embed forms, tables, lists, images on your web pages. So I'll be seeing you next week for that. Please do not forget your assignment. Very important. I really don't want to see anyone missing out on a certificate of merit. Okay, so let us do our assignments. Let us do our quizzes so that we are at par. So thank you, ladies and gentlemen. It has been a pleasure. Do have a very, very good night. I will be seeing you next week.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.